Hey everyone, this is Bola Shokumbi. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance, and I'm also the author of the Clever Girl Finance book series. Welcome to Clever Girl Finance TV. So today I am back with the amazing team Clever Girl Finance. Tell everyone who you are.
Hi, my name is Carly.
Hi, my name is Yasmir.
And we're going to be talking about how social media might be impacting our finances.
That's a good one.
So, do you find that your spending or your purchases have been influenced by social media?
Oh, yeah.
How?
100% yes.
Well, for me, I wanted sort of like a change to help with my finances. I wanted to save money. So I looked up like minimalism and capsule wardrobe. And I thought to myself, this is great because I can just keep using these outfits in different ways. And then not have to buy any more. But that made me buy more outfits. And I just thought to myself, no, this is not working. And a lot of the things that I saw on social media that these women were presenting, like for these capsule wardrobes, I was just like, oh, I need to have that. And I would imagine myself wearing those things. So I was just thinking to myself, I have to have those. But in reality, I did not. And in my closet, there are outfits with the tags still on them because I haven't worn them. So, yeah.
What about you, Carly?
Yeah, I feel like the clothing thing will get you because for me, my style is like ever evolving. And I've found recently that it kind of hinges on what today's, I guess, styles are. And so when I'm following people on Instagram or TikTok or whatever the case may be that are wearing clothes that I'm like, oh, I really like that. Like that's like the style today. I start modeling my wardrobe after people. And I do it without even thinking sometimes. And to the point where then if I'm interacting with those people on social media, I'm getting ads. I'm getting ads for like those clothes. I'm like seeing certain types of like the same type of like shape of shirt that I'm like interested in now. And I start seeing things like patterns in what I'm interacting with on my social media. Yeah. So it's causing me to definitely spend money in ways towards my wardrobe where I'm not even thinking about it now. And so I have to like catch myself because it's hard.
Yeah, the same thing happens to me, especially with the recommendations, the social media algorithms, YouTube, Instagram gives you. Like when you look at one thing, right, then they show you 10 more of the same thing. And usually I'm not really fazed by those things because I know what I like. But I found that, especially because I've watched so many unboxing videos on YouTube of I just want to know what's in the box, right? I just want to know what did you spend your money on? I want to know. But I found that there are things that I would start out saying, I hate this thing. I do not like this thing. I would never buy this thing. Then after seeing the thing impressed upon me 1 billion times, I'm like, okay, it's okay. I kind of like it, but I know I don't like it. I absolutely do not like this thing. And it happened to me once because I'd seen this scarf so many times that this one girl on YouTube unboxed this scarf and she like styled it. It was so amazing. Like, you know what? I'm going to order this scarf. And I got it. And I'm like, this is horrible. I hate this thing. Why did I buy it? Like, and I returned it right away. That was a one time that I had to slip up around like social media impressions. But usually it's just so much, right? Yeah. So what I do now is I've unfollowed everybody that adds no value to me. I mean, I don't even like what you're wearing. That's number one. I can't wear any. I don't have the body. One, I'm not gonna spend that kind of money. Two, I just don't like it. Three, unfollow. Right.
I'm with it.
And then what's the other thing I do now? You know, when I go on YouTube and YouTube wants to recommend me stuff, I'm like, do not show me that again. Do not show me that again. Don't show me that again. And I have the certain people that I like, that I subscribe to, and I try to create a sense of balance. Because sometimes when you see all these like, you know, like especially fashion stuff, it's like unending. It's never ending, and it can be so overwhelming, especially when the first thing you do is open your phone, you see somebody, and the next thing you see is an ad for that thing. And even sometimes I will text my friends about things, and then when I open YouTube or Instagram, the first thing I see is a video about that thing or an ad about that thing.
It's
Very
scary. It's
creepy.
actually unsettling.
Yeah.
The
Like,
amount
Siri,
of
you need to
power
quit
that
it.
has. Yeah, like, please don't listen to me anymore. Yeah.
So I talked about my slip up with the scarf. What have you found yourself slipping up where you've bought something you know you shouldn't have from because of social media, and you're like, did you keep it? Did you return it? What did you do? How did you feel?
I feel like that happens to me more so with like purchasing like online apps and stuff like that. Like they'll be like, oh, here's an app to make your life easier, and then like I get all these ads for these apps, and then I end up like, oh, maybe these apps will be helpful. I don't know whether it's like a budgeting app or like a clothing app or like how to find deals near you, and then I'm like, oh, these might be helpful, and then I end up giving into things where I'm like, that was unnecessary. I didn't need to do that, and then my phone's full of things that I'm not even using, like apps that I'm not even using, resources that weren't even helpful to me, resources they tell me they're resources but they're really not. So yeah, like I feel like I get more caught up on like the digital scheme of things of like what I can find online, and then it compiles and I'm like, this isn't helpful, and it's just taking up storage and I didn't need it to begin with. But here we are.
Yeah, I was looking up skincare.
That's another one. The
yes,
skincare and the hair products.
It got me, and the hair products too. And I was just looking for like, okay, like what can I do to improve my complexion? And I found something, and it was like, okay, so you're looking at this product here, try this. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I should try that. And then I found myself buying, I had like 10 of those like creams and soap and stuff. And I'm like, I did not need all of this. Like, I just need a cleanser and a moisturizer. And that's it. And I was stuck with them because I was using them. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's just like, it felt like a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it can feel that way. Yeah, and I think it's also, like, for me personally, I've become very mindful of who I follow on social media, because unfortunately not everybody is ethical or being honest about what they're reviewing or what they're sharing. I remember specifically there was one lady I used to follow on YouTube, and she had an older video where she talked about a certain product, about how amazing it was. She did not reveal that it was a paid or a gifted or a sponsored item. She just talked about it like she bought it and she thought it was so amazing. And then for whatever reason, the next video that YouTube recommended about her was like a few months later, but then she was talking about how she would never use that item. It was such a she thinks it's such a crappy item. But then you were telling us to buy it a few months ago, and so people actually, they figured it out, and they started in the comments saying, why would you say all these negative things about this product when I bought it 3-4 months ago when you told me to buy it, because it was so and I find there's a lot of that where people they're not honest about disclosures. They're recommending items that they don't use, they don't like, they would not be caught dead on, dead with in the street. And even the whole idea of they buy something to show it and then they return it. So they didn't really buy it, but you know, you go and buy it and like, oh, I got this new thing in my wardrobe, but that person returned it the same day. So I think it's really important to be mindful of whose content you're consuming. And even if you just watch it for fun, the fact that in the background, especially when it's impressed upon you so many times, the thing that you didn't even like, you may start to like.
You don't even realize what's happening, and I feel like that happens in so many different areas.
You don't realize. So I'm very mindful on who I watch and who I follow. Like when I catch myself going down a rabbit hole, I'm like, nope. I'm not gonna do that. Let's exit this. And another thing I do, I'm gonna ask you guys what you guys do to manage the social media madness. Is I put a timer on my phone.
Oh, that's a good idea.
1 hour, 30 minutes. 1 hour YouTube, 30 minutes Instagram. Once we get to that timer, in fact, I think my Instagram is at 15 minutes now. Once we get there, we're done. Let's do something else, Bola. It's time to move on. There's life outside the phone. What do you guys do?
That's hard. It's hard to monitor sometimes. I find myself scrolling for long periods of time, and then I'm like, what did I do?
You know what you need to turn on your phone? I have an iPhone. I don't know what kind of phones you guys have, but there's probably the feature where it will tell you what your daily screen time
Oh,
is.
yes.
Oh, the weekly screen time notification.
No, you want the daily one.
I should just get
daily.
I just get the
This
weekly
is how
one, but
much
maybe I
time
should just do that.
you spent on Instagram today.
I
17
should-
hours.
I'm gonna switch to daily.
I don't like looking at the weekly times. When that notification comes up, I'm like, oh no.
So what do you guys do to manage your social media rabbit holes?
Oh my goodness.
Well, I think one thing is working on my time management, first of all, better. Because there are things that I could be doing when I'm on social media that like are important. And so working on time management, knowing what my goals are for the week, helps me to limit the amount of time that I'm actually on the phone or just scrolling mindlessly. Even if I'm on my phone doing things for work that are work related, just being mindful about like, okay, this is the time that I have right now allotted for this. This is what I need to get done. And then balancing it with that. Or even just capping the time of like media before bed too. Because I have a tendency to scroll before I fall asleep, and then that doesn't help either. So I think just working on time management is good for me, and then needing to set locks on the apps because that needs to happen.
Yeah, help yourself, help yourself.
Yes.
What about you, Yasmin?
I'm mindful of who I follow. So if that person is selling something and is being aggressive or making the followers like myself feel bad about not having a certain product, I unfollow them because that to me is a red flag. So being mindful of who I follow and just and see what action I take. So if someone's showing something and then I want to immediately buy it, I try to catch myself. It didn't work out with the skincare products. Like, why do I need 2 different soaps and 2 different moisturizers? Like, yeah, sometimes it doesn't work, but you make mistakes and you learn from them.
I know the Miracle. What is the one I keep seeing now? The Miracle.
Oh, no.
It's like a Spanx thing, and then you see the ladies before they like pull it up. It changed my
Oh,
life.
yes.
I got a man.
Those on TikTok.
I did this. I
Yep.
became rich
Yep.
because of this.
They get you.
Undergarments.
They
that
try.
Sucked my belly in. I'm like, and the first time I'm like, this is nonsense. This
Yeah.
is pure rubbish. The second time, like,
You're seeing enough of
The
it.
third time, like, oh, does it really work?
Guess we will know if we
The
will
fourth
try.
time, like, should I buy it?
Like, oh, maybe we'll just try it.
That's how you get
Yeah.
influence.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people find themselves just spending money they don't have or money they don't need to because of these influences. And it's hard to fight the machine because
is
the machine doesn't get tired. It's always going. And so, when people ask me, okay, so what can I do to just manage this, or what do I do? Like, if I don't have the money to spend on the bag, on the scarf, on the shoes, it doesn't matter how many unboxings you do. I can't buy it, right? So I'm a huge fan of like planning out your finances with your budget, knowing what you need to spend money on, and then putting your savings, your goal money, your other, even if it's like splurge money, but it wasn't that splurge from social media, something else you already planned, putting that money away where you can't just take a card and swipe it at the next influencer that says this is going to change your life, because you're like, well, it's at this bank, it doesn't have a check, doesn't have a debit card, and the way my accounts are set up, right. It's gonna take me 16 days to get that money. By the time that happens, your discount code has expired.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I can't buy it.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
That's what I do. Like, I mean, I just, it's not, and sometimes I look at these people, I know a lot of influencers make a lot of money on social media, but I look at sometimes I look and I'm like, how is this sustainable?
Yeah.
How are we able to unbox $10,000 every week? How do we do this?
Right.
I want to know.
It's a mystery to me. I wish I understood.
I mean, I know that some of them make a lot of money, but
Yeah.
I just want people to understand that you're not that person.
Yeah.
Right? That person can unbox the $10,000 every week, but I certainly can't. And if I cannot, why am I watching this?
Right?
How is this helping me?
and it's like you said, they're probably just getting it and then returning it.
Or they're getting it for free,
Yeah.
or they get 1 million views on the video and they get a big paycheck from
Just from
whoever,
that, yeah.
and then you can use that money to buy your next thing. But we're in two different worlds, right?
It's not the same lifestyle.
It's a different reality. I cannot do $10,000 unbox. I have kids. I have
Right.
investment goals. I have things to do. I can't do that.
And it can also start to make you almost feel bad too, in a sense.
Of like watching these people do this. And then I'm
everybody
like,
has, because on social media it's such a bubble where you think everybody has it but you.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only person. You're the person behind in last week's fashion. Wearing this week's fashion now, and you're still wearing that outfit I recommended 2 weeks ago. Girl.
like, oh, better catch up.
Shame on
I'm
you.
already behind.
You better catch it. Right? It can feel that way,
Yeah.
like, because everybody has it. Like, wow, what am I doing wrong? I don't have it. Yeah, so I tell people, like, set up your accounts so that it doesn't matter if, even if I put it on a platter and put it in front of your nose, you're like, I can't buy it.
Yeah, I
The
do
money's
same.
not there.
Yeah, I don't save credit cards ever. And if I have the option to pay with my PayPal, I can't because I can never remember the password. I have it written down in a notebook and I made it so it's hard for me to get to it. And I'm like, you know what? No.
That one-click buy, Amazon has that one-click buy with one click.
That's terrible.
That's so it's such a bad thing.
That's
Like,
concerning, actually.
just see that you click buy, because so I don't save my credit cards online
Right.
either, because you have to have a saved card to click and buy. Like, it doesn't even ask you, like, enter your address. It doesn't give you time to go through, oh well, as I'm typing my address, do I really need this thing? Do I want
Right.
it's just click and
No,
buy.
they want to speed up the process and get some more people to buy stuff.
Yeah, it's
no,
So
that-
you
slippery.
don't
tricky.
second guess. They don't want you to have
Click
it.
the link in my
No.
bio, and it's a click and buy.
Yeah, click the link. Oh my word!
And now it's like you can buy straight from. I think you can buy straight from posts on Instagram now. You can just click on the. thing
Oh
on the
yeah, you
post
can, and it'll
go
tell you
straight
the
to
price, and then just
Oh,
click
yeah.
it.
And if you've
then
saved your credit card in there, then you can just. It's like 2-3
gotta
steps.
be careful.
You have to
Yeah.
be careful. You have to be clear on your goals. You have to be clear on your why. You have to be clear on the things that you want to accomplish for yourself. Yes, you can buy these things,
Right.
but you have to build it into your plan. I once saw a video. Was it a video, an article about an influencer who was no longer influencing, and she was making good money, but she was also caught up in competing with other influencers for the most recent content, and the most newest looks, whatever, where she was spending way beyond what she was earning, and she actually spent the money for like a big contract before she even signed the paper, and the contract got canceled, and then she ended up owing the brand like tens of thousands of dollars, and then she realized that was her like turning point or her realization point, where she's like, wow, I'm in debt because I'm trying to keep up as an influencer, and I don't even, the money I was making is not even enough anymore to sustain the lifestyle I've created for myself.
Right.
So that's something that is really important for us to think about. Like we talked about earlier, ourselves and influencers were in two different worlds. That's what they do for a career.
Right.
We're just viewers. We can't live life like they can. And we also want to be mindful about the ethics and just being clear on our goals. Are we spending money because we really plan to buy that thing, because we truly want that thing, or because it's just been impressed upon us a billion times? So stuff to keep in mind. So is social media impacting your finances? I would love to know. Leave a comment below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining us today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tell all your best girlfriends about Clever Girl Finance. And be sure to stop by clevergirlfinance.com to check out our completely free courses. Thanks for tuning in. I will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.